Good day, everyone. Allow us to introduce ourselves. I am Esterline Pedroso Enriquez, together with Queen Escote and Cheryl Fantanalgo, and we are going to report in Chapter 7, Continuing Professional Development, the Lifeblood of the Teaching Profession. So we have here our learning outcomes. First, explain why CPD is necessary for professional teachers. Second, discuss pertinent provisions of the CPD Act of 2016 and other related legal documents. And third, commit to continuing professional development. CPD or Continuing Professional Development essentially ensures that you continue to be proficient and competent in your profession while also furnishing you with essential skills that could help you progress with your career. It's not just a one-stop shop, either it continues and develops throughout your career. So, ibig sabihin sa pamamagitan ng CPD, mas tinitiyak na patuloy tayong maging bihasa at may kakayahan sa ating piniling profesyon. Sa pamamagitan din ito, mas nahahasa tayo na magiging fit in o naaayon sa ating piniling karera o profesyon. It means continually updating your skills and knowledge in order to remain professionally competent to achieve your true potential. So, sa batas na ito, napapailalim ang pagpapayabong ng mga advanced na kaalaman, kasanayan at ethical values in post-licensure specialization para sa asimilasyon sa professional na kasanayan at lifelong learning. So, sa madaling salita, nangangahulugan ito ng patuloy na pag-a-update ng mga kasanayan at kaalaman upang manatiling professionally competent to achieve your true potential. So, yun yung RA 10912. Next, we have the salient provisions of RA 10912, the Continuing Professional Development Act of 2016. So, when we say salient, ibig sabihin kapansin-pansin. So, kapansin-pansin na mga provision ng RA 10912. So, CPD is the only way professionals can sharpen their competitive edge in an international world that has become global village. The need for CPD is heightened by ASEAN integration and internalization, which are now real. To be in professional must international standards. The way to go is CPD. So, ang CPD ay ang tanging paraan upang paunlarin ng mga profesional ang kanilang kakayahang kompetisyon sa mundo ng internasyonal. So, ang pangangailangan para sa CPD ay pinatindi ng ASEAN integration and internalization na totoo na ngayon. So, upang makapasok o maging qualified na profesional, dapat ay makapasa sa magiging mga pamantayan. So, the only way to be one of those professionals is the CPD or the Continuing Professional Development.
So let's continue the discussion. I am your reporter, Kundal Gracie Scotty. A while ago, Ms. Enriquez tackled and explained about the historical and legal basis of continuing professional development in the Philippines. So now, I am going to explain and report the number of CPD units required and the ways by which professional teacher can be in credit units. Number of CPD units required. Article 3, Section 10 of the same CPD Act states, the CPD is made as a mandatory requirements in the renewal of the Professional Identification Card or ito yung tinatawag na PIC of all registered and licensed professional. So, the Professional Identification Card is only renewable for every 3 years to renew. To have a CPD units required so that they will renew your license or they will issue your Professional Identification Card. How many credit units are required for the renewal of PICS? So, on the table below, you can see how many credit units are required for the renewal of PICS. To the period of December 2017, 15 credit units are required. For the January to December 2018, 30 credit units are required. January 2019 onwards naman is 45 credit units are required. So, how are we going to accumulate those credit units? Paano ba natin gagawin yan? Here are the ways by which professional teacher can earn credit units. So, actually, we have 4 tracks. The first is the professional track, second, academic track, third, self-directed track, and the fourth is the productive scholarship. When we say professional track, this includes training provided by the CPD providers accredited by the PRC. So, sa professional track, dito napapaloob yung mga training na kinakailangan para makakakuha ka ng more credit units. You can earn more credit units if you assign by the CPD Council. So kung kayo ay na-invite as a resource speaker, facilitator, or moderator, you can earn more credits unit or you may use that to earn more credit units. Second, academic track. This refers to the completion of a master's degree, completion of a candidacy to the doctorate program, completion of the doctorate program, completion of a postdoctoral diploma, and being a recipient or a professional chair grant and or fellowship grant. When we say academic track, it refers to the completion of a master's degree, completion of the doctorate program, completion of the master's degree. If you have a master's degree, napapaloob dito sa academic track if nakakuha ka or you have a master's degree, it is given to you a full credit unit of 45. Kung meron kang master's degree, ibibigay nila yung full credit units na 45 sa'yo. Third, self-directed track. This includes training offered by the non-accredited CPD providers. It refers to learning activities such as online training, local international seminars, and the non-degree courses. So, in the self-directed track naman includes training na ina-offer ng mga non-accredited CPD providers. Just like for the example, yung mga online trainings, the seminar, it is one of the ways how you earn credit units. Yung mga non-accredited tulad ng interactive scholarship. This means that the professional teacher has developed program training module, curriculum, guide, or any other resources material, or the professional teacher has written an article in a magazine or a technical research paper, and even better if the technical paper is published in a referred peer-reviewed professional journal. Productive scholarship. Productive scholarship, dito sa track na ito, you can earn more credit by writing an article in a professional magazine or could be a research paper na kung saan dapat na maipublic for you to earn more credit units. Continuing professional development plan. A proof that a professional teacher plan has made CPD his/her way of life is his/her formulation of a CPD plan, which he/she religiously follows whether monitored or not monitored by his/her superiors because he/she monitors himself/herself. Developing a personal CPD plan helps teacher leaders develop purposefully. It is not good enough to have a good intention to do CPD. It is best that good intention should be made concrete in a simple and doable plan. Every professional who has sincere intent to grow professionally must have an annual personal CPD plan. Personal teacher formulating their prospective annual CPD plans and faithfully observing them lead to the building of a CPD culture among professional teachers. With that CPD culture, the negative attitude towards mandatory CPD hopefully will fade away. We hope to reach a point where professional teachers will oblige themselves to go through CPD not because it is mandatory but because it is something that they owe to themselves as professional and to the public they serve. This is professionalism. So, the purpose of CPD plan or the continuing professional plan is used to identify the track and learning development intend to do in order to move effectively in your job. This could be helped to improve and develop for a new position and also to be moved updated and monitored and relevant. Some teachers are not in the seminars or workshop. It is because before it is not necessary or mandatory yung CPD plan for the renewal of their PIC. When we say PIC, professional. Next, I will discuss the template for a CPD plan. There are two templates. The first one is usually used by the DepEd and the public schools and the general, while the second, it is used by others or individual. Comparing the two templates make one conclude that they are basically the same, even though it has different terms that are being used, but actually it refers to the same. The first template is about teacher's individual plan for the professional development or ito yung tinatawag na IPPD. So, for the objectives, what is your purpose or target? What competence yung gusto mong ma-enhance sa sarili mo? For the method strategies, naman, ano yung mga activity na gagawin mo para ma-achieve yung objectives mo? Like attending conference, seminars, and workshop. For the resources, ano yung gagawin mo to access resources? Yun yung mga gagamitin like books, internets, and other resources. And for the time frame, dito mo ilalagay kung how many days will it take to accomplish your work. Success educator, ano yung competence na na-enhance sa'yo kung na-achieve mo na ba yung mga objectives mo after ng competence na natutunan mo. So next is ano yung mga na-improve sa students mo like reading improvement, comprehension, and their vocabulary and so on. For the second template is the CPD plan. First column is training. What do I need to improve my training? We need to plan first para ma-improve natin yung mga goal na gusto nating ma-achieve. Like teaching strategies, techniques, in order for us to get the attention of our pupils. So, the example given below is preparation of PowerPoint. So, what will be the objective for that? Under the objectives, what should I do to address my need? Ano yung objective mo para ma-address yung objectives? Sample below is to make PowerPoint for at least 5 lessons. Next is the activity. What activity should I undergo to address my need? Of course, a tutorial. So, we know that what we're gonna do to make our PowerPoint more interesting and what activity should I undergo to address my need? Of course, a tutorial, diba? So, we know what we're gonna do to make our PowerPoint more interesting and knowledgeable. Also, we have resources needed. Human whose help do I need to address my need? We need people who is expert on that field like IT teachers. So next, and the resource needed is in the material. What material or how much cash do I need to address my need? So, that can help us in our preparation is kailangan natin ng laptop and LCD. Next is the time frame. When I am supposed to have addressed my need. So, on the sample below is May 2018. So, understandable naman siya kung kailan mo sisimulan yung personal CPD plan mo. Expected output. The amount of output to be produced like 5 PowerPoints, and lastly, the expected outcome. What result does this activity have on my teaching and my student learning? More interesting and more concrete. Lesson presentation and improve student scores. If there is an improvement means your goal is effective.
Good day, sir. I'm Cyril Pantonalgo, the third reporter for today's lesson, which is the chapter 7, Continuing Professional Development, the Lifeblood of Teaching Profession. So, joining professional learning community or communities of practice. So, CPD or the Continuing Professional Development is made possible through professional learning communities or yung PLC. So, ano nga ba itong PLC? So, PLC, it is a collaboration in which teachers work together to analyze and improve their classroom practice in a systematic process. So, ito yung PLC, ito yung tinatawag sa mga teachers na nagko-collab or nagtitipon-tipon para mag-share ng kanilang mga skills and also para ma-improve ang kanilang mga learnings and also their classroom practice. The Department of Education institutionalized the School Learning Action Cells or SLACs as mechanism for CPD. So itong SLACs, it is a mechanism for the CPD. So learning from the CPD practices of high-performing countries. So in this, Let us learn from the CPD practices of high-performing countries like the Singapore, Japan, Finland, and the New Zealand. So CPD in Singapore, it is the first country in the world to adopt the PLC framework nationwide. So it has institutionalized PLC sa kanilang mga schools. So professional development is very much alive, and in 2010, in Singapore, the Ministry of Education or the MOE mandated all schools to be a learning organization. So ano itong learning organizations? These learning organizations ito yung concept ng schools to support the building of a strong mentorship culture where a collaborative and community-oriented form of professional development thrives. So sa Singapore, sa CPD ng Singapore, yung mga teachers, they are entitled to have a 1 hour per year of training. So kinakailangan nila ng 100 hour per year. And yung kanilang mga schools, the schools are encouraged to provide at least 1 hour of curricular time per week for teachers to actively engage in school-based professional development. So yung kanilang mga schools naman is nagpo-provide sila ng at least 1 hour of curricular time per week for the teachers. So for PD in Singapore has first the teacher research network, second lesson study and other forms of learning circles. So first teacher researcher networks, a form of classroom-based investigation where teachers discuss and reflect upon pedagogical problems and find their own solutions to improve teaching and learning. So dito sa teacher research networks, yung mga teachers is gumagawa sila ng mga action research. So dito yun siya. So the teacher research network follow these steps. So ito yung mga steps na ginagawa nila sa teacher research network, which is gumagawa sila ng action research. So action research. So first, identification and definition of problem. So unang-una nilang gagawin is i-identify nila or i-define nila ng problem ng isang learner sa isang paaralan. For example nito, yung isang students is hindi siya gaanong nagpa-participate sa mga lessons sa loob ng klase. So ito yung problem na kailangan nilang solusyonan. So B, planning for improvement. So after i-identify yung problem, dito na nagpa-plan yung mga teachers kung ano yung mga kailangan niyang gawin to improve those students na hindi nagpa-participate sa school. For example, lamang nito, gagawa sila ng activity, ng group activity at other learning activity para ma-enhance yung confidence ng isang student. So C, implementation of teaching learning activities. So after ng planning, so doon na i-apply na ng teacher sa loob ng paaralan yung mga plano niya o i-implement niya na yung plans niya para mag-start na yung kanyang research. So, the observation of result or data collection. So, after na implementation, yung teacher naman is, syempre, kukuha siya ng mga data kung anong nangyari doon sa kanyang research. So, reflection on the outcomes. So, after ma-identify ng problem, ng planning, implementation, and observation, doon na siya, magre-reflect na siya kung ano yung nakuha niyang data, bibigyan niya na ng reflection, and also recommendations sa kanyang research. So after ng completion ng research, yung mga participants, magagawa sila ng reflective journal or to summarize their procedures, yung findings sila, yung conclusions, and the implications of the studies. Tapos yung completion ng research na ito is sinishare nila sa mga teachers na may na interested and then may similar classroom problem din doon sa research. And sinishare din ito nila sa mga forums, sa mga symposiums, and sa publications to share their research findings. So second one is the lesson study. So itong lesson study, ng lesson study ng Singapore, it is adapted from the Japan. The overall goal of this lesson study is to foster collaborative inquiry and data-driven pedagogical reflection among teachers. So, merong 4 cycle phases according to TAN 2014 yung lesson study ng Singapore. The first one is study phase. So, dito yung teacher ina-analyze niya yung mga curriculum na kanyang ituturo sa mga estudyante. The second one is yung planning phase. So, dito yung mga teachers, they are select lessons for research, predict students' thinking, and difficulties, and plan the implementation of specific lessons for data collection. So, dito na yung process ng pagplaplano. Sa third, analysis phase. So, analysis phase, the teacher observes and discusses the classroom evidence collected. Katulad naman ng mga videos and the student written work. So, dito sa analysis phase, dito na after ng planning phase, implementation, sa analysis phase, ito yung data collection. So, kumukuha na ng ino-observe na ng teachers at nagko-collect na siya ng mga evidences. So, the fourth one is reflection phase. So, dito sa reflection phase, yung teachers, nagdi-discuss sila ng student learning and identify new areas for further inquiry. So, dito na gumagawa ng conclusion ng ang isang teachers at ina-identify niya kung ano pa yung mga areas na dapat niyang i-develop. So, second one, the CPD in Finland. So, dito sa Finland, teachers in Finland meet one afternoon each week to jointly plan and develop curriculum. They are encouraged to work together to share materials. So, dito sa Finland naman is yung mga teachers is nagmi-meet sila one afternoon each week para to plan and to develop the curriculum. So, CPD in Japan. Japan is well known for lesson study approach where teacher demonstrate a lesson as he or she is observed by his or her colleagues. The demonstrated lesson is open to critiquing by fellow teachers for professional development. So, yung CPD sa Japan, is tinatawag natin siyang parang demonstration dito sa Pilipinas. Parang demonstration ng mga teachers. Yung isang guro is nagle-lesson siya sa isang klase while merong isang co-teacher or principal na mag-o-observe doon sa teacher kung paano siya magturo. At yung principal na yon or yung co-teacher na mag-o-observe is gumagawa siya ng critic or gumagawa siya ng critic o gumagawa siya ng reflection or nire-rate niya yung isang guro kung ano ba yung kulang at ano ba yung strength ng isang guro. So, CPD in New Zealand, Ministry of Education gives fund for 20% release time for new teachers and 10% release time for second-year teachers. Ministry of Education to observe other teachers, attend professional development activities, courses, and work curriculum. So, in New Zealand, yung mga teachers is ino-observe nila yung other teachers. So, nag-a-attend sila ng mga professional development activities, yung courses, and work on curriculum. So, yung mga mentor teachers nila sa Finland is New Zealand is nagsuspend talaga sila ng time to observe yung mga beginner teachers and to confer kung ano yung kanilang mga kakayahan or ano yung mga kanilang mga kailangan pang i-improve na mga skills and ano ba yung kanilang mga weakness. Characteristic of effective CPD. So, based on professional development practices and experiences of high-performing countries, we can say that the CPD or the continuing professional development that works is continuous. So, CPD must be continuous. That's the word continuing professional development. A professional does not stop developing or else he or she rots. Stagnant waters becomes putrid. So, pag sinabi nating CPD is continuous, dapat continue yung CPD. Kasi the role of CPD is to enhance the skills of every teacher. So, ang CPD, it is continuous kasi hindi siya nagsastop. Hindi nagsastop yung learning ng students at hindi nagsastop yung pagbabago ng mga learning ng mga bata. So, CPD, second one is collaborative. So, CPD must also be collaborative. Does the need to be part of the PLC, a professional learning committee. It was Helen Keller who said, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." Yung CPD, hindi lang siya para pang-isahan. So, yung CPT, it is collaborative. So, merong collaboration between teachers. So, yung CPT, it needs a collaboration between teachers para makatulong sa ibang mga teachers. So, third one, CPD must be focused on a specific teacher's need. It responds to a need, and so is highly relevant to the teachers. A CPD that is prescribed by higher officials does not necessarily respond to teachers' need. So, kailangan yung CPD, it is nakafocus talaga siya sa mga pangangailangan ng mga guro. So, the fourth one, CPD is job embedded. It becomes even more relevant. The teacher has not to be removed from the workplace for CPD, so there is no work disruption. What a teacher is trained on is exactly what he or she does. So, dapat kinakailangan yung CPD, hindi siya makadistorbo sa klase or hindi siya makadistorbo sa trabaho ng isang teachers. So, fifth, give enough time. So, quality CPD demands adequate time. What is 10 to 20 hours removed from the contact time with learners? Quality time spent for CPD ultimately redounds to improve teaching for the benefit of the learners. So, kinakailangan talaga sa CPD na meron siyang time para matulungan yung mga teachers kung ano ba yung dapat nilang gawin for the students. So, 6 is funded. So, CPD with supports fund is definitely better than one without. So, kinakailangan din sa CPD is meron talaga silang fund. So in summary of our topic this lesson, so the CPD Act of 2016 requires every professional teacher to go through CPD. CPD units are a requirement for the renewal of professionals. So kinakailangan talaga ng isang teachers to engage in CPD or continuing professional developments kasi it is the requirements for the renewal of the professionals. The second one cannot give what one does not have. A teacher must embrace continuing professional development. So, kinakailangan talaga sa isang guro to have a continuing professional development kasi one cannot give what one does not have. You cannot teach what you don't know. Hindi natin matuturo sa mga estudyante yung wala tayo. We cannot give what we don't have. So, hindi natin maibibigay sa mga estudyante yung mga sapat na learnings or sapat na kaalaman kung wala rin tayong kaalaman. So, yan lang yung aming report for this day. The Chapter 7, Continuing Professional Development, the Lifeblood of Teaching Professions. So, thank you for listening.